Today we are going to talk about mapping musical heritage, specifically the case study of the World Heritage City of Caceres. Next. The objective of this workshop aims to gather expert reflections and practice digitalizing and mapping of tangibles and intangible musical heritage, and the history and anthropology of music in a place are to be simplified and discussed. Next. On this session, after the presentation, we will show you a little bit how we are working with an application like MapHue or for mapping and navigate. And after, we love to have a feedback for you, maybe knowing another project or application that you may be working. Next. Our approach on musical heritage of anthropology of music, we can start with some definition. For example, this is from Vargas. Usually refers to documents, scores, and traditionals of certain regions, countries, or communities. It is general, but in Gómez-Cairo, next, we found another definition more complete and more concrete, talking about musical works, artists who are living human treasures, musical instruments, manuscript scores, original documents, musical recordings due to their technological and historical value. And next. This definition is more exhaustive, but still leaves out another items relevant, as music venues, emblematic place for having been recalled in classic songs such as Abbey Road from the Beatles, of Calero Street in the traditional music in the city of Caceres. Next. Our approach is from ethnomusicology, that we understand music and musical does not refer to musical talents or ability, because it refers to the capacity of humans to create, perform, organize cognitively, reach physically and emotionally too, and interpret the meaning of human organized sound. This definition comes from Timothy Rice's Ethnomusicology, a very short introduction, and it's too easy to understand what is music. Next. Our experience project in this research are the application we are doing are Europeana, DOREMUS, doing reusable music data, and Madrid Music Map. And now Martín is going to talk about.
Thank you, Anita. Well, DOREMUS is a project to improve music description, to foster data exchange and reuse. They are enriching existing data model ontologies, like the functional requirements for bibliographic records and other objects, selecting and recommending existing control vocabularies to describe music, creating music control vocabularies. The DOREMUS project is connecting sources, multiplying usage, enriching user experience, studying usages, developing applications for researching music, mapping and cataloging usages, and developing apps for education, tourism, research. They work with categories as event, work, expressions, and ontologies relating these categories as work can be an abstract, is realized in expression that has a title, identification, categorization, intention, and there is an event performed by actors in a place and a time, concretes, that created the expression and created a realization of work. This is another example or a concrete example of these ontologies, these relationships, like the work and Nikos Kazantzakis recrucified is derivative of an individual work by Jonathan Griffin's English translation of Crucified. So it's a translator, and the relationship is translation, etc. When showing vocabularies, we have these lists of musical genres from Radio France, from International Association of Music Learning or Languages. Different vocabularies. This is an example from Diavolo, Radio France vocabulary. And for example, here are some of the terms, the words that are contained in this vocabulary. So many different kind of concepts, like genres, musical genres, like soul, styles, funky, religion, Buddhism. Here we have, for example, the label Son Mexicano, Son Mexicain, and it's related to Musiques d'Amérique du Nord et Centrale. It's the field above, and below are Son Jarocho, Bamba. It's a song from the Son Jarocho and Son Huasteco. Okay, about the other project inspiring us in our effort and progress and research is Madrid Music Map. It's project planning music itineraries in the city of Madrid as music chapels, academies and music halls, the world of opera and zarzuela, the world of the piano, court music, singing cafes, pavilions, saloons, and cinematographs, the birth and development of music industry, stockists, publishers, luthiers, music at bullfighting events, religious and para-religious processions and events, Madrid flamenco, the restoration of zarzuela, places of the avant-garde, etc. These are different, very different routes based on very different times, centuries, places. This is a screenshot of what it could be, because it's not implemented still, but the pilot project. This is the ancient map of Madrid, the Teixeira map. Here is a video from a zarzuela, and the record, composers, the timeline, different categories, something to search, search engine. Very interesting. We are going to show a little bit our work on Map Hub. Just a moment. This is our application. It's friendly application. We are going to open a map. It's this one also, but in English. So we can see the different kind of objects, of elements, how they can be mapped, and what kind of information they can have associated. For example, we see this dance, and amazingly, it's a Mexican dance. It's a Voladores dance in the first Hispanic American Folkloric Festival in June 1958 in the center of the square, major square of Caceres. Some of the labels of the metadata associated could be dances, festivals, Mexico, voladores, World Heritage, flute and drum, circular dance, main square, 1958, Caceres also. So this is an example. Here we have another example in the church of St. James Church. We want to see and to hear a bell ring. These are videos restored in the drive. This in blue is the street. This Caleros Street is our particular Abbey Road in the sense that it's sung in many songs. Many songs has been collected in this street, also from ethnomusicologists like Angelita Capdeville. And well, here is an example to map and catalog in different groups, like music life stories can be also a repository of life stories, music shops, festivals, professional interpreters, organology, live music venues, composers, rehearsal places, music places like the Bull Ring, like the St. James Church, where it's a starting project. We hope we can fill this up with lots, with thousands of elements. Thank you for your attention. You have my contact mail, mgu.unex.es. Thank you very much for your attention. See you in the live part of this interesting and relevant conference.